Have you ever stopped to think that the very ground we walk on might tell a story? Not just a story of rocks and time, but maybe a story of faith? Well, today we're going to a place where a bizarre geological anomaly and an ancient sacred text seem to tell the exact same unbelievable story of a land that literally rose up from the bottom of the sea.
So our story starts with a real head-scratcher out in the high desert of Arizona. Imagine you're hiking, you're a mile above sea level, and you look down and see sea fossils, clamshells, things that belong on the ocean floor. It makes no sense, right? It's a paradox that geologists just had to get to the bottom of.
And look, we're not talking about a few stray shells somebody dropped. We're talking about entire layers of rock just packed with marine fossils. The evidence is overwhelming. The only possible conclusion is that this dry, dusty landscape used to be the bottom of a huge ocean. But that just makes the mystery even crazier. How in the world did the ocean floor end up a mile high in the air?
To solve this paradox, scientists started digging in, and the story they uncovered was one of immense power and a geological event that was, well, one of a kind. Now, the force that does this is called tectonic uplift. You've probably heard of it. It's when these massive plates that make up the Earth's crust smash into each other, forcing the land upward and creating mountains. It's happening all over the world. But what happened in Arizona, yeah, that was different. It wasn't like anything geologists had seen before. This chart really nails the difference. On the left, that's your standard mountain building. Think of it like a slow-motion car crash. The land gets all crumpled, tilted, and broken. It's a mess. But then you look at the Arizona uplift on the right. The rock layers are perfectly flat. They're uniform. They're not broken. It's like they weren't shoved up. They were lifted.
In fact, the best way scientists can describe it is to say it was like an elevator. Can you picture that? A giant piece of the Earth's crust, miles wide, just rising straight up, thousands of feet, without tilting at all. This super smooth, level ascent is what makes this place so incredibly unique on the entire planet.
Okay, so let's recap the science part. We have a seabed that gets lifted perfectly straight out of the water to become a high, smooth plateau, which of course causes the sea to drain away. Now, I want you to hold that picture in your mind, because we're about to switch gears and look at a completely different kind of record.
We're going to pivot now from modern geology to a really ancient text, the Book of Moses. And it tells the story of a prophet named Enoch, who received a pretty incredible promise from God.
Enoch was told that through his faith, he'd be given a kind of power that's hard to even comprehend. The power to literally command the landscape, to make mountains move, and to change the course of entire rivers.
And the scriptures say that's exactly what happened. Enoch spoke, the earth trembled, the mountains fled. What a great description of a massive geological event, right? And rivers were turned from their paths. It's a story of incredible power. But it's the very next line, the next verse, that gives me chills.
Because this is where our two stories, the one written in stone and the one written on a scroll, start to line up in a way that is just unbelievable.
Right after the mountains flee and the rivers turn, the text says this, clear as day. There also came up a land out of the depth of the sea, a piece of the seafloor, lifted to become dry land. Does that sound familiar?
I mean, when you put them side by side like this, it's just astonishing. Geologists say the land was once under the sea. The scripture says a land out of the depth of the sea. Geologists describe a straight upward lift. The scripture says it came up. The science says the sea drained away. The scripture says rivers of water were turned. In both stories, the result is a new, high, flat land where people can live. It's a perfect match.
So, what do we do with this? When a completely unique geological formation perfectly mirrors the description of a completely unique event in an ancient text, it forces you to stop and ask a really profound question.
Could this high, smooth plateau, the one that rose like an elevator from the ocean floor, be the very land that came up out of the depth of the sea when Enoch spoke? Is it possible that the Arizona Plateau is a physical, earthly witness to that ancient story of faith? You know, science is great at telling us how this land was formed, but maybe, just maybe, this ancient text offers a clue as to why. It's a pretty compelling thought, a story of faith written right into the bedrock of the earth itself.